There you can see his splash art, and I'm going to go ahead and say his weapons look amazing. The color looks amazing.
They look so
now
good.
that I can see it in comparison, you look amazing as Tiberius.
Well,
It's
I
all
was
coming
gonna
together
say,
here.
it's like
You
you've
look
seen him
so
before,
good.
Yeah,
right?
it feels very familiar.
Kevin was reading the lore, and he was just like, "It's like when I look
This
in
is
the
my
mirror."
history. Yeah.
I'm really just telling my own tale at this point.
Shout out
Are you tugging
to
on your
Jeff
tail?
Bellio and Splash Art, our lead concept artist, did an amazing job.
And
Dude,
so we
they gotta
have
just, like,
not only
speed
this
this
look
thing
at
up,
him, but
though.
I guess you've
They
seen
go
and
so
heard a little bit of his
slow.
voice, but we have the turnaround so you can see the 3D model as well as listen to his voice pack.
Attention all, have no fear. The glorious Tiberius is here to save the day. Please,
So is he
enjoy
like
the show.
the same species as
I will
Maeve,
be
right?
the last thing you see before you die.
Maeve will be
Lucky
the
you.
last thing you'll see
So that
before you die.
accompanied with what you had kind of said is like him being this entertainer, like he's out there kind of having fun doing his thing, but he just happens to be really, really menacing and a huge threat with these weapons, so you can't really like call him
650
on
shot.
anything that he's saying. And it just,
Okay.
it all fits together to make this guy who in the video, I mean, he looked at Rom like he was nothing.
Yep. His voice especially came out
650,
quite
pretty fast shooting.
perfect.
Okay, has a slowish.
Let's hold it on the abilities for now.
Yeah. So this is one of those things. I think there's a lot of things about him that I have seen, and I've kind of seen as they've gone through their iterations from original concept when you were like talking about some base things you wanted to see in this champion. I don't know how many months ago to what
love
we
how he
have been
leans
able
when you
to
turn.
kind of accomplish that we'll see today.
He really
But
looks like he's riding.
what is
the
he
mountain.
coming with? I guess in weapons wise, like just basic attacks. What are we looking at?
So yeah, so first up, he's a weapons master, and his in-hand is the bladed chakram. So this is actually a weapon that, from design, we've wanted to do for a while. This is a gameplay hook. Just projectiles that bounce off walls and interact in a unique way. So we're really excited. At base, his weapons deal 650 damage.
Dude, you're gonna be able to shoot people
but
behind
they can also
walls,
bounce
bro.
off walls for reduced damage, but they will deal. But they will be at full efficiency, so there's no dampening. If it's a hit from a bounce, you'll get the little combo marker just to indicate that was a weapon bounce in hand, just to distinguish between it.
So
and it
cool.
again does the just slightly less damage. And this is a really, really fun ability. One thing about our maps is not all of them are going to work the best, but especially on our point fights, this is a really, really fun mechanic.
Yeah.
Especially when you're able to get that kill around a corner. Just,
That's
like,
so
perfectly timing the
cool,
bounce off the wall.
And that's going to be so crucial. I mean, we've seen how ridiculous some people's aim already is. So now adding in the fact that you can go for like some ricochet shots on that one, I am ready for montages already. So I hope that when he comes out, like within a week, if you're not on PTS, at least within a week of release, I want to have some crazy montages with these attacks.
Oh, there's that Grover spray, by the way.
So yeah, I guess we're going to show off the leap now as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Tiberius, can we slow down on the abilities, by the way? So
he's
Tiberius
getting flamed,
is going
dude.
to have a short delay. This is just kind of a movement ability in and out. And
Yeah.
he does have a talent that's going to be able to add damage to it. It's really just a ability that's going to transport him locations. He is a damage character. Most of his kit is really about brawling and fighting characters,
Yeah,
and then
this guy's
locking down
cool.
enemies at long range with either bounces or his ult fire. But there is some drawback to this ability, mostly in that it's got a 0.5 pre-fire, so it's not instant, so you kind of have to think a little bit before using it, and it's just a forward momentum
It's just to
impulse,
get out.
mostly horizontal though.
So it's a good kind of get me out of this engagement, especially as like a damage, you don't want to take it all, but there's just enough that if you don't react fast enough, you will still kind
wonder
of
if
die,
you
I guess, in
see
that
bounce
pre-fire.
high.
And this ability is called Crouching Tigron.
Perfect name.
Oh, I guess we're showing all the abilities.
But
Dude, this guy is
Let's
so
take this- We're going to
flaming.
take this one
poor
step at
guy.
a time, cameraman. One ability at a time.
so far, we've gotten kind of, I guess, like the two basics that you want in a damage champion. How he's dealing damage,
Yes.
as well as kind of what is most unique, I would argue, about his kit, having the shots you can bounce off walls. You get his disengage, but what other abilities is he bringing to the table?
That is his movement ability and his in-hand.
Cool.
He has a self-stim, which is combat trance. So this is going to be your Q ability or ability 1. And this is just going to be an attack and movement speed stim. So you increase your rate of fire. This is where Tiberius is actually the most deadly. His DPS on his in-hand is a little bit low for damage characters.
Yeah.
But when he pops combat trance, that's his moment that you are going to be
Wait, he has no
really
cooldowns?
powerful, and you need to be very careful if you're fighting him and look for this mode specifically. He just channels his energy and becomes really this menacing tiger.
And I'm already thinking of like fun little scenarios, like, you know, being able to bounce it off of walls. You find yourself in an engagement and a point fight, there happens to be a wall right there, and you're like, huh, that tank looks just precariously low enough that I could do this. You pop your stim, and all of a sudden they're gone. Even with 500, you get those many shots off, it makes a pretty easy target.
This is a character designed to really combo his abilities well.
Yeah.
And we could probably show that off here. So as you're leaping, you can actually pop your attack speed stim.
So up
Oh shoot!
So you can start even because of the timing. You can start firing before you hit the ground.
That's a big thing, right? Is that Tiberius is going to be leaping through the air
it's
and
like
still able to interact and fight with opponents. We actually did a very special animation for enemies for this. So if you could actually go to 3P and then use Crouching Tiger on, this just looks cool. So I want to show it off. I think Wraith or Thunderbrush is going to be the best at talking about this one.
Whoa!
Yeah. Oh. With this ability, we just essentially wanted him to feel more like more
dope
into a martial arts master and just look awesome through the loop itself.
Imagine that animation in first person. I know, dude. Imagine you're just like
feel weapons master isn't just going to be good with weapons. Like he's going to have had to learn different kind of martial arts throughout his life to figure out how to fight you. What's the best way to approach this and work with those weapons? So it all kind of culminates here.
With new champions where we can, we really want to add more of a sense of
the balancing is so cool.
Acrobaticness, I guess you would say. That's probably the wrong word. But we wanted him to feel just more agile.
Oh yeah, dude. What the heck was
more
that?
Skilled, essentially, and what looks cooler than doing a dozen flips through the air while throwing chakrams.
Especially on a bigger character as well. So making him have that acrobatic cat-like movement was I know a big thing for the team specifically.
Yeah, he's a swole boy, but he's an agile boy too.
Can we go to 3P again and then show Crouching Tigron while firing bladed chakrams?
Yep. So of course you can still fire the chakrams off. It's just that he's doing it at such a speed you don't even see him necessarily leave the flip.
He just shoots the blaze out of his
with the animation looks amazing because like you said, with the speed that they're coming out, kind of makes sense as to why they'd still be flying at such speed with how fast he's being able to spin himself.
We'd had some conversations early on too during the development process. Again, this is always group feedback.
Honestly, it is going to be better. Cherish got hit so hard, dude.
But we really wanted to make sure we differentiated his leap from, let's say, a buck leap. Because a big object flying through the air really fast is going to look similar. So his definitely feels super unique.
I'm sorry, it feels less impactful every time I see someone die and there's just that shark looking at me afterward. It's just like, this is a serious moment, a serious weapons master. Hey, I'm a shark. Either way.
That reload.
He's just admiring the Tigron flow, you know?
Yeah. His chi.
And that, so far, again, movement ability. We've seen his personal stim.
Yep.
And we've seen more animations, I guess, come down with it. What is coming on? Because, you know, we've had this with a few champions where they have these secondary kind of abilities behind their initials. So I guess kind of let's dive deeper into Tiberius.
So his alternate fire is called Heavy Blade. And this is a magical sword. Not really in lore. We're not really sure where it's been forged.
It's an unknown
it's
ancient blade.
Unknown, but it definitely called specifically to Tiberius. Tiberius answered its call, and it has a couple special properties gameplay-wise. But the first thing you do is throw it forward, and you can see it actually is going to stick into walls and floors. And your ability is still active. Oh, there it goes. So once it's actually lodged into the walls and floors, sometimes the angle gets a little bit weird. You can recall it back to your hand, and it's going to pass through everything. So this is shields, walls, floors, players, absolutely everything. And it's going to do reduced damage on its way back.
Interesting.
If you want, let's actually show the sword going through Fernando's shield. So this is one of the only, this is going to be the only ability in our game, or one of the only, that actually goes through player shields. And that's something that players are going to have to be very cognizant of as they're fighting Tiberius.
Dude, they're really trying to nerf
so it's
shields,
hitting
man.
Fernando and the shield is what it looked like with the damage numbers there. So you're able to kind of get the best of both worlds out of his ability. And being able to recall it, and you can kind of see looking away. I think you had said through walls, through shields, like through anything that happens to be standing between him and this blade, it will return to him.
Do you have to stand still and recall?
On its own is just awesome.
This character gameplay-wise is this is an ability I've wanted to do for a long time, which is a weapon recall after it gets stuck in the floor or ground or environment. This character is really built with. There's a lot of cool combos. There's not a lot of lockouts between your abilities. It's about what is kind of the cool martial artist way that you're going to take out. So your opponent.
Cooldowns.
Are you going to throw a sword through them and then recall it and then bounce off a chakram off the wall, or leap in, throwing your chakrams with enhanced attack speed and movement speed for a short duration? There's a lot of ways that players are going to be able to experience Tiberius, and I think there's a lot of ways that people are going to be able to find success when playing him.
And again, the amount of plays that I can see that can come out of it just out of, hey, I'm going to bounce this shot off this wall, throw my sword over there, recall it at a different angle so maybe it hits you on the way back. Like, there's a lot of movement and just kind of outplayability built in here that is going to make it go from very easy to grasp at the beginning, very difficult to master towards the end, which I think fits a weapons master better than anything.
Eventually. Oh, absolutely. There's a really nice sort of aggressive factor that is really cool about Tiberius.
Because I could see them not doing cooldowns
sort
just
of a peaceful traveling martial arts monk character. He's arrogant. He's kind of fast and just really sure of himself, and it feels reflected in everything he does that the kit also really syncs up with really well. Our animation team, led by Jim, did a really great job of bringing the characters to life.
We also did not make it easy for them.
No, it never is. Can't make it too easy though. But yeah, overall he just came together real fantastic and does a wonderful job of selling everything that matches the gameplay kit.
And so far, it's been perfect. And I guess that's going to be the one that comes through.
Things about people accidentally killing other people
at least once. But that's, again, only his, I guess, offhand attack, as you would have it, as right click.
A lot of things for this character.
There's even more to go into. And so I'll let you take the plate once again.
You know what? Let's just show it off, Anthony. Let's just bust it out. This is Blade Dance's ultimate. Yeah, just use all the abilities and stuff.
What, dude?
So good, the animation.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So this ability is called Blade Dance. So you enter a state for
him and Makoa fighting together, bro, is gonna be hilarious. Makoa's gonna be like, "You challenge Makoa," and then he's gonna be like, "Yo, I got the ninja myself!"
Tiberius is actually blocking all incoming damage, and he's gonna apply damage in an AOE when he lands.
That's
and you
hilarious.
have 5 charges of this. This is what I like most about this ability, is that both the abilities are trying to do 2 different things. One is a damage immunity state with a good knockback and higher damage, a little bit harder to control.
Wow.
And your dash is just like it's just your quintessential like anime dash through, slice your sword, but it just feels so good to play with. You can dash through again all players. There's a little bit of delay between using these abilities, but the whole point is that players are going to have different situations in which both of those abilities are going to be able to find success. You can use it to escape. You can see it's got actual aerial directionality. With striking Tigron, so you could just use it to reposition completely if you're in a bad spot.
Oh, the dash.
Again, animation team really dropped everyone's jaw at an early champion review we had with this guy. When we saw the ult the first time, we knew it was like, yep, that's it.
Okay, so the left click is the dash.
That was a good showcase.
I mean, sorry, the left click is the dash, and the right click is the spin.
You enter it for 15 seconds, but it's really just either 15 seconds or if you use all your charges.
You have 5
you get
charges.
one of the 2, and that just looks amazing, and it allows you, like, it's just enough distance that even though you're having to use a sword and it has to become kind of like melee damage, you don't feel too bad about getting up close with them. But like you said, it's also a good, I need to get out of here, and I need to get out of here fast and safe. That's my way out.
This is a character that one of our design goals for 2020 as a whole for Paladins is play your way, right? And this is a character that I think really embodies that mindset.
Have it your way. McDonald's.
In that there's just a lot of capabilities and combinations that you can come up with. Sure, there
Dude,
may
my
be a
bit
meta
rate's
one,
freaking
but I
taking
think
a
players
tank.
can have fun with this champ. Playing it in a variety of different ways, putting emphasis on the sword, or maybe you're
play
really
your way,
fancy
Omega Lol.
or maybe you just want to feel like a weeb. That's my favorite part.
This guy looks
what
like
I love
a
is
weeb,
kind of like what you said. There's probably going to be like a meta of this is where he's picked and this is maybe the style, quote unquote, that he's played. But like, he's so adaptable that there's never going to be something true. It's like,
okay,
you're going to play in the back, but at the same time, if we need that guy killed and you're the one with your ult, like, get in there, go fight him. You can change on the fly.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of people that are like, why isn't he a flank versus a damage? And it's, you know, we've kind of gotten to 40, is this 44?
I think so.
44.
Yeah.
We got a lot of characters.
There's a lot of people.
There's a lot of champions in our game. So there's definitely characters that I think already embody the idea of hybrid playstyles. And while Tiberius is primarily a damage, he definitely has flanking capabilities.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have a ton of self-survivability in his kit, but he's able to get in and really kind of eliminate people quickly. But he has to be a little bit more careful. He doesn't have as many defensive tools as a traditional flank will. But I like the idea that a character, even if they're traditionally damaged, has a kit.
When you're a god, but you get killed by a man dressed as a bird.
You can do that even more enabled if you have a really good healer. Ideally, like, I mean, now you have
when you're a literal god,
going in the free rotation with him, so someone can kind of partner up with you and
get that
try to keep you safe.
Kevin would hope that you're playing Io, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm not biased.
He's not biased at all.
I mean, I could imagine a good Io heal with a Luna stun,
seriously, dude.
A Tigron flipping
Strict
over
changes,
a wall.
whack.
There's a lot that can go on, and it becomes almost cinematic in nature that I'm happy I play frontline, so I can just sit on the point and watch all of this unfold in front of me.
I've done a
instead of having to be hard.
A bull and a tiger now.
And a tiger.
Yeah, you know what?
Oh my.
What will be next? Oh my! Oh my!
Yeah, Tiberius kind of leaping over the front line of an enemy team is, or.
Xfinity XFi gives Gordon Hayward internet speeds he can count on.
I hate this freaking ad, dude.
Having a Tiberius leap over your team front line is terrifying if they get positioned behind you and activate their abilities.
That ad alone makes me want to get ad blocked.
You can also see, this is a better example. You're not always going to get the ricochet that you want. You're not going to get the bounce every time that you want to hit. You have to find that angle, and so with someone that's moving a moving target, it's going to be even harder to find that, which makes it feel just
I know, dude, but I can't stand slurping or chewing or anything like that,
But we've seen his abilities now. We can kind of go and dive into what his talents will be and what they'll be augmenting as they come through. So I guess let's go ahead and look at the first one here.
So the first one is Predatory Instinct. Is it good? Yeah. So at base, Tiberius' chakrams bounce twice, and then they'll dissipate upon hitting or colliding with a wall for a third time.
Okay.
And so his default Predatory Instincts just adds 2 more bounces to that, so it's a little bit more friendly to players, or really strong in maps, maybe tight areas, right? This is actually a character that, again, you're gonna have to think about where you want to fight him, because if he misses you with his projectile in a small room, there's a good chance it's still gonna hit you because it's gonna be bouncing around in there.
He'll never miss you, dude.
So, you know, after the first bounce, it does less damage. Does that happen after every bounce, or is it just the first initial chunk down?
Yeah,
and
if you
no matter what, it's going to be 500.
if you directly hit someone, it will be 650. But if it is a bouncing ability, it's always going to be reduced damage.
I can imagine so many maps and so many areas where if you find the right angle, their teams are not going to be happy if they run single file down the line. I know that one. I guess we called it banana in Stone Key.
This is apartment.
You find the right bounce through there when everyone's running through early
dude,
on.
that's going to be serious, bro.
They're going to find the areas,
the angles. It's going to be so fun to watch. But already adding extra bounces is going to make it look.
Apartments in Bright Marsh is going to be like,
as well as just
I'm going to freaking end you all, you piece of trash.
It's really fun to see the higher level players too.
Oh yeah.
Master and see how they play this, because
just spam
there's
that
also
thing.
like Kevin was saying, there's so many varieties that you can play this character that even if you are a more casual player, they're still going to be no person probably plays the same. Very unique.
So you get 2 extra bounces there, so you're going to have a little bit more utility, I guess, coming down from your basic attacks. We can go ahead and take a look at the next one, as Anthony cues that one up.
So this is Tigron's Fury.
Yeah.
So Tigron's Fury is actually going to change how your heavy blade operates. So it'll still stick into the wall if you want to throw it there, but you're no longer able to recall it. Instead, you detonate it. Oh, it's not equipped.
We'll just pretend oh man, that was such a great show off of the right click again.
I was really happy with that timing. I was like, we've got it.
He's got it already.
Oh no, it failed. Okay, let's try again.
Quite stick. Let's see if it did that.
There we go. That would have been so much better if it happened.
Shoot! 16 damage.
So this allows for more, I guess, splash damage to kind of come in for him.
So you're going to be doing reduced damage on the blade hit itself, but you still explode in the area. And you can actually reactivate this while it's in air too. So what I think is interesting about that is not only can you just try and find the angle to really just be disruptive on the point. There's a short delay, so players are going to have to kind of learn that timing. But you can also set up traps, right?
Yeah. Thanos snaps that thing.
Spike, except this now is controlled by the player themselves because basically Heavy Blade already had a secondary state, so we thought this was a little bit more interesting way to deliver kind of a trap setup.
So you can leave it around, or like you said, kind of drive-by explosion, if that's what you want to go with.
Yeah, it lasts for 10 seconds in World, so you can't just have it sitting there for like a minute.
Set it next to their base and then run back, do some other stuff.
I don't want that to
happen. Into the round, it just blows up and happens to be the game-winning play.
There's traps, but there's got to be some checks and balances into your character.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, I've always loved the finger snap on this. Again, animation team coming in with that hotness, so fun. It just feels good to hit that, and audio really got that just little snap in there. Feels great.
The snap is very Tiberius too. It very much embodies it. He's just like, yep, done.
Yeah, I was gonna say it captures his personality, especially if you were loving the trailer that we had at HRX.
His personality.
Personality, wow.
What?
I'm gonna need more than 9 lives to deal with these jokes today, Kevin.
I only had one. I can't respond. I can't come up with
another
pun on the fly. I'm not a master like you in Thunderbrush.
What's the matter? Cat got your tongue?
Oh my god.
All right, so there's a third talent here that also exists and is a perfect segue away from cat puns.
We still have balance. Oh,
I was gonna say, yeah, this is I would argue Tiberius is like the middle portion in terms of like the halves, but balance is going to be some thick changes.
Yeah.
As we look at this one.
Yeah, so this is just going to add, this is actually, we think, going to enable flank playstyle a little bit more, which it adds a 700 damage hit onto your Crouching Tiger on ability. Numbers aren't showing up, but it is 700 damage, so players that really want to kind of jump in and try and take down enemies, I think are going to find a lot of success with this talent. If you're trying to run that more flank-oriented playstyle, you lose some extra
I think
bounces.
the exploding sword probably will be the best.
Detonate your sword or set up a trap, but we like that this enables, we think, a third distinct playstyle in the character.
Yeah, and gives you, again,
Maybe.
another option for a guy who already has many options, but like
750
you said,
extra damage
your design
doesn't
goal
seem
going
too
forward is
crazy.
play it your way. This gives you even more stylization to kind of bring towards it. And those will unlock pretty much like every other talent
Honestly,
that we have.
your
You level
flank
them
is
up.
just going to be,
the first
once you
few
get
levels,
old,
I think level 8 is when you get the last one, so you're going to be able to kind of get those pretty quickly as you come through. And well, I can imagine a lot of people already planning on just spamming as much Tiberius as they can through the first, I would argue, week, but they'll probably have some issues getting him every single game, so that will elongate as time goes on. But he's looking amazing so far.
Looks great.
And I believe we do have like recolors and things to look at as well with him as he's going to be coming out. It's going to be fantastic.
All right, guys.
With everything he has going on. And there he is, a little bit
That
more
looks
vibrant, a little less tiger.
Is it Beast Slayer?
Yeah, Beast Slayer
Tiberius.
So this is his recolor.
I'm gonna play
I like
the
that he kind of
gets
gets the darker hair with this.
Yeah,
You know,
Bouncy
so
Boy
and
and
I believe this one is Night Stalker as well.
Oh,
Nice talk. I like this one.
because I'm gonna
Now, this
play
one
my
is
way,
actually-
have it
so
my
if
way.
You get the season pass. This will be included
Dude,
as
Tremors with 2
You
walls
have to get the
because
season
play
pass,
my way.
And you will get this. And again, we announced earlier we are extending.
Mega
if you
Wolf.
bought the 2019 season pass, we're extending it into 2020.
Gosh, they both look
so
good, those
everything in
skins.
2020 that's included in that, you will also get.
Yo, dude, I get to pick my talents. I play my way.
Yes.
And that's been skins like starting with Imani, but it's been every single champion this
Tremors
year.
with nerf Inara wall for 2,500 nerf damage, dude. Yeah, right. Alright, guys. That is all for the Tiberius video. Now let's get back to the stream. Alright, here's what I wanted to talk about.